Hello, hello, everybody. Here is Yanis talking. Thanks you all who joined us today for our last this year's public event. It will be a sales session, and the general speaker will be Alexander Ignatenko. So I join him on the stage. Here you
Okay.
go, Alex.
Hello, everyone. Just a couple of minutes before we actually start, so we will wait for the others to join for a minute or two. So my name is Alexander, and I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing at Luxriot. So, and today we'll be just making the general sales overview of the recent advancements with our platform, and I hope you will actually get some good insights or some good ideas or how to apply uh, those benefits and that value that we provide towards your customers. So definitely everyone will gain a bit of business out of this. Okay, while we're waiting for the others to join, I hope you can hear me clearly, and I hope you can see the slides as well.
Yes, we can see and we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah. We are waiting for the others. So Yanis just let me know when I should start because I don't see the statistics. So who's there? So that's probably one of the disadvantages of this platform. So I can clearly see my presentation, but nothing else.
Yeah, it is cool, Alex, and there is the second when you can start. So here you go.
So actually, I can start. Yes.
Yes,
On.
you can start. Yeah.
Okay. So today's session just for the some warm up. Some quick facts about Luxriot. So I know that you obviously know all of those, but just just a quick reminder. So the Luxriot is the US-based company headquartered within the nice New York City in the US, with the European and overall EMEA um, sales and R&D hub located in Riga, Latvia. So the first product has been released back in 2004, so like 17 years back already. Now we are at the second generation of the platform, which been released in 2018, like 3 years old. And at the moment, so according to the statistics we gathered in August, we've got like over 3 million active cameras in operation. So we're with the second generation of the platform. So we unfortunately we can't count how many cameras are still on the legacy product. But yeah, so I believe this is quite a good result. So within 3 years, we achieved like 3 million active connections. So just in brief, before we go to the actual sales overview, what we've got. So we've got two instances of our video management and that data management platform. The first one is called Evo S, and this is a single server, a very simple architecture, and the number of channels it supports starts from 4 up to unlimited. So unlimited means that much as your hardware will allow you. And then the second instance called Evo Global. This is the more advanced multi-server architecture, and this one is scalable up to the unlimited. So this is certain limitation over there. So at the moment, the database limit per each single Evo Global instance is roughly 120,000 up to 150,000 channels connected into one single Evo Global, but nothing stops you from having like multiple Evo Globals if you got like a 500,000 cameras project. So all those additions are likely all inclusive. So the channel licenses includes pretty much everything, except for video analytics and other external services, but all the basic features are included. Both the editions are unified and interoperable, so they share the same client and the same system management application called console. And you're definitely an operator can connect to multiple instances of Evo S or Evo Global or mixture of those simultaneously. So that can create the huge distributed system with no extra issues. Um, of course, all the editions have the optimized performance. I mean, hardware optimized performance. So in terms of consuming CPU, memory, and other hardware resources, Evo is very optimized. I would say one of the most optimized products over there in the market. So is your licensing? Yeah, so you pretty much have to worry about just a number of channels connected. And we provide an extensive device support, like third-party device support. But that was just a brief introduction. So let's start with one thing. And the thing is called perceived value. So, in theory, when someone, say, company offers certain product that provides a leap in value, so provides an extensive value because of its cool features or whatever else, so it should rapidly earn, the brand buzz. So everyone should be aware of this, and definitely the market will follow this product and adopt this broadly. But this is a theory, and unfortunately, the brutal reality is that the only value that matters in the market is the so-called market's perceived value. And this value just exists in the mind of the market. So if the market thinks that the company A is something valuable and the company B is not, then okay, even if the company B has the superior product compared to the company A, that doesn't really matter. And now, the goal of today's session will be how to turn the theory into the reality. So how to create the perceived value and in the minds of the market, so you can actually reach out to the broader audience. So the action plan, just for as for any sales, there's nothing sophisticated in here. So yeah, we have to know how to demonstrate the product and its value. So we will have a look at how to provide some testimonials and some case studies, how it works. I will briefly explain the support structure, and we have to have to mind that we have to be objective. So yeah, so each product has its strong sides and also some weaknesses, of course, and you must be aware of all of those. And non-single product is the perfect fit for everyone. So you have to mind that you have to be objective. You have to prepare your users or your customers, your potential customers, your prospects, your partners for the fear tactics. What's this? So ultimately, you have to reach the state that, okay, if you compete against someone, so your potential customer should think like, okay, we'll be fine in either way. So it doesn't really matter which product we select. So let's pick the best system for us, for you, and not listen to the fear tactics. So fear tactics, or known by acronym FUD, fear, uncertainty, and disorder, is unfortunately by our knowledge is the primary tactic used to be used against you by your competitors. So they will try to say, okay, we are company A, so everyone knows, and who's Luxriot, so nobody knows, and definitely the product is just a crap and doesn't worth your attention. So this is the most common example which you see. So, and now we should have a look. Okay, so how we can overcome this type of tactics. First of all, well, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. So that's been a saying by Napoleon Bonaparte. And this definitely a case why in many instances we've been able to win against the most top competitors out there in the market, see Milestone, Genetic, Avigilon, precisely. I don't know why, but Avigilon likes to use fear tactics against us. But anyways, so never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. And trying to play on fear is definitely the mistake. So in a situation when your competitor is on a product sales approach means is just listing up, so has a long laundry list of different features. Doesn't really matter those are appropriate for this customer or not. Okay, let them explain. Let them name all the killer features they got. The thing is that in most instances you will be able to counter all of those features because as far as we aware, Evo has quite broad list of their top enterprise features whoever else might have. So you can easily counter those in the consultative manner. Yes, but yeah, you've got this, but we've got this, and so on and so on. But you can combine these with these features value and the adequate pain points. So pain points means actually the actual problem that those particular feature or a combination of features might solve. This will be more important for the customer just rather than just a broad list of different technologies. So first of all, customer cares about themselves and their problems. And if you can solve those problems, that's fine. So you'll be at the same page as your competitors, but then you will have a huge advantage. You can nail your competitor's coffin with your price offer. And this is kind of unique thing. And just let me demonstrate this. Uh, Sorry for a bit mess. So here I've got a very simple Excel spreadsheet com combined with the price database. Those are the retail prices, so MSRP plus minus, so there's certain accuracy in here. But anyways, this is a tool which can demonstrate what your competitive offer might look like for standalone system and both for the more extensive multi-server systems. Say for standalone, there's obviously Luxriot Evo S. That's the product. And say your customer has 50 camera system. Okay, here's your calculation. So how much it will cost you across the first 6 years of use and how much it will be on the purchasing cost. As you can see, none of any competitors can offer anything comparable to this. Yeah, they can be cheaper systems or even free systems, but okay, in this case, no one can compete against the free system on price because it's literally free, and this is why you have to bring your value, and we will have a look at how it works. But more importantly, the competition becomes more fierce when it comes to the multi-service system. Say a customer has, I don't know, 450 cameras across the network. So what will be the MSRP for those, just for the video management software in this case? So as you can see, the figures, well, still Luxriot Evo Global has the most competitive price. Even some of those systems, some of the competitive systems are not even a fit on in terms of the features and the value, but still they have the high prices everywhere. Even on the course of 6 years, you can see the total cost of ownership for some of the competitive system will be several times higher than it will be for Luxriot Evo. Okay, let's get back to the slides. So this is the final nail for your competitive offer. So, but don't sell just on price. Yes, this is a huge competitive advantage. But if you sell the value first and then show the price, yeah, so that will be your win. And it starts with the absolutely easy licensing structure. Yeah, as I said, it's very simple. One channel means one active camera connection is just one channel license. There's no extra server, client connection, failover, replication, video wall, or whatsoever license is required. So everything is all inclusive into the channel license. So that's very simple, and I believe this is one of the most well-placed competitive positions in the market. If we will have a look on their more sophisticated, even global architecture. So yeah, there's a central server which actually in charge of the central management of the entire system, because it might be the distributed systems. There are recording servers. With Evo Global, it doesn't matter how many those recording servers are there in the system. The only thing that matters is the total number of channels within the system. So as I said, there's no per server charge. Client connections doesn't matter. Is it thick client or mobile web thin client connections? So we do not limit those anyhow. So there's no extra charges for this. They can be failover servers actually to achieve more system resilience, so the data will be safe and you can ensure that the system is operates even one of the main recording servers will fail. The failover servers will take care about all the devices connected to the servers. And there's also archive replication. That means, say, especially on the distributed systems, they can be some small local storage and the central archive for longer retention periods. And again, those failover servers or the archive replication servers, we don't charge anything for those. So those are literally free of charge. There's also video wall capability, so they are quite extensive video wall control. So literally you can unify any single monitor connected to any single system client into one video wall, or you can have multiple video walls, of course. So we can combine up to 100 displays into one video wall. And when it comes, why is those features are important? So one of the use cases in here is the several nuclear plants in the US, because they got quite demanding standards for system resilience and security, and especially they cannot afford even zero downtime. I would say this is not an easy task to achieve. So everyone has the failover, everyone has the replication, everyone has the mirroring. The key here is how fast it might work and what minimum downtime can be achievable. So the systems are relatively small, like 200 channels each, but they share the local and remote. So in some remote location, they got their mirrored control room, which is exactly the duplicate of the main control room. And then being able to achieve zero to no time reaction. Zero to no time reaction means zero to no time failover reaction. So even anything goes wrong with their system hardware over there, there's also always the failover server set for the instant takeover. So there's no downtime in here. It's it will require a dedicated network to operate this in this type of environment. It will require the quite precise setup of the hardware, of course, but it's 100% achievable. So instant failover means zero seconds. Um, just as an example, the some of the recent tests earlier this year within the Department of Home Affairs in Australia. They performed several tests on the how fast the failover works. On the real system, they've been able to achieve like 15 to 18 seconds with Luxriot. Just for your understanding, the closest competitor was like 1.5 minutes, and the others been even over 2 minutes for the failover. So I would say the failover is really fast. And there's also archive replication, of course, because it's a nuclear plant. So if anything goes wrong and it explodes suddenly, I don't know why, but then they have to make sure that all the video archive, all the operation has been recorded properly for the investigations. And the system is truly unlimited. So even if you've got like the relatively small system up to, I don't know, 300, 400 channels, and you've got a powerful hardware, you can take your advantage with the unique Evo S Unlimited. So this is literally an unlimited license for one server, of course, but this is a fixed cost for absolutely uncapped number of cameras per server. So this is where the hardware limitations will apply. But we know that there are several systems, so like 600-700 cameras per server. It doesn't mean that we would recommend this because it requires quite powerful hardware and quite extensive setup of the system, but it's absolutely doable and possible. And definitely for the large scale or distributed system, we would recommend the Evo Global because, yeah, so first of all, it doesn't limit anyhow the number of servers per systems. There's no licensing or node licensing or per server licensing. So literally you can have as many as you need for your system. And as I said before, all the Evo Global channels are shared system-wide, so just the total number of cameras that matters. And here's another example of the distributed system. So Mavis Tires, or Mavis Discount Tires, this is the franchise that operates across the US, small tire services or car services all across the US. At the moment, they got like 840 locations. Not all of them are within our system, so because they expand the business by acquiring some small local companies. But what we know, they got the one single Evo Global instance, so it's centralized monitoring, centralized governments, and this unifies over then 600 locations with roughly 18,000 cameras over there. So it's quite extensive, and again, this is a single instance of system, and you can definitely combine several Evo Globals over there. So, and the other important thing that Evo Global and Evo S, of course, it's an open ecosystem. So we cooperate with the dozens different technology partners, all the camera manufacturers, video analytic manufacturers, access control manufacturers, and some other devices. So we've got the native integration with over the 5,000 devices. So it means we implemented the native drivers via the native API for more than 5,000. The last estimation was like 5,400 different devices with the native drivers, and in total we support over 15,000 different devices, And those are mostly, of course, by the open protocols like OnVIF, OPC, and some others. And we also got small own our dedicated own video analytics ecosystem, which includes the basic technologies nowadays, like the basic security video analytics, license plate recognition, and the facial recognition services. And here's another example of how the open platform can operate. This is the free port of Riga. It's quite huge hub for ports and container management and all other services around. It's been operating since 2009. Still, even some parts of the system are still based on the old legacy product of ours, but this year they finally started migrating to the new generation. So, and they got the combination of several Luxriot Evo S instances, and those are within the port administration and some Evo Global. So, and those are in control of police and security operations, and the operators can actually combine both of them. Because they are interoperable. And the main challenge over there was the disparate blend of different cameras. So say they got cameras in operation since 2005, old Sanyo cameras, whatever it's been possible to install over there. So you can find there. It's kind of museum of their technologies. And we've been able to actually to acquire and integrate all of those. So this is an example of the complex open system in here. So when it comes to the event management, this is quite a recent add-on into our system. So let me just show how it works. So literally, each event can be represented by bookmark. But bookmark is not just a tiny pinpoint on the recording timeline. It's the inbuilt event management system, actually. So each bookmark has its own reference image, reference clip. It has all the actions and all the things that the operator has been doing with this type of event. It's been recorded. So just simply let's jump into this one. So this is the Luxriot Evo monitor. So operator's interface, and in here on the right side we've got the alarms panel. So the main interface for working with different types of events. Well, it's kind of quite extensive, so it's very flexible. So all the events can be searchable by different severity levels. Say, okay, I want to see only the high importance events in here. Okay, there's been like several persons been detected. Oh no, I want to see only critical ones. Okay, we've got one critical, and so on. So I can filter by status, by progress. So it can be filtered by channel, or it can be actually searchable by text. Say I want to see anything related to cats. Okay, cat count has been resetted. I can clear the filters, or I can even hide this. And again, so each of those events, as I said, it has the reference image. Okay, so person being detected at camera 105. This is high event of high importance, being new, and the description is just camera 2. So what I can do in here, so first of all, I can jump to the, I can bring this reference video as a pop-up on the live view, or I can pop up an instant playback so we can see what happened over there. I can change the severity level. So, okay, so there's nothing important been here, and you see they immediately change its color and importance, and I can say, okay, is this been looked at? So this is in progress. I can even add my comments in here. and each other operator can instantly see those. So it literally can be like a chat between different operators in here. So uh, implies investigation cooperation. If we just go to the playback, those events can be displayed on the on the timeline of the recording. So and another thing, so when you just move the mouse over the timeline, you see that it's actually displays the reference image, quite handy on like searching for a quick search. But all of those bookmarks are displayed here, and if I click on any one of those bookmarks, okay, so it brings me the same interface. I can say, okay, this one is closed, leave my comment. So pretty handy for the investigation. I jump back to the live image in here, and let me get back to the presentation. So in terms of the video analytics, the very basic one, so-called EVA or EVA Video Analytics. This is the neural network engine, been added recently, and we are still working on some improvements, of course. But what it does, it classifies different types of objects, like human beings, different types of vehicles, even some animals, and it applies different rules, like line crossing, line counting, zone crossing, zone counting, and all the combination of here. So here's a brief example from one of the retailers. So see some food shop in here. So they just counting the number of customers, how many customers they had. As you can see, it recognize all the persons. Doesn't really matter what angle in here. And on a live system, it looks like this. So I can just define a certain zone of detection. So I can set the different rules. So if certain human being enters the zone, so okay, person has been detected, and I instantly see the alarm in here, so person being detected with a reference image. So that works very simple. Another thing, actually, which is quite often forgotten, is the fast navigation. So we can define different zones covered with different cameras in here. And if I click on that zone, it's immediately switched to the other camera, which covers that zone. Okay, this one has been connected. Okay, so the kind of fast way of navigating between the cameras for operators. Another way of navigation is definitely the live maps. So just general maps with the whatever footage you might apply. It might be any sort of image. If you just hover the mouse over the camera, it will provide you with the instant video from that camera. The maps can be interconnected, so it can be LED, and the maps can be geo-referenced. This is like the live geo-referenced image of the map. So with actual positions of the cameras, if you have a chance to connect, say, body-worn cameras or vehicle-mounted cameras with the GPS or any other GPS capable devices, we can display the actual location of those devices on the map. And definitely I can switch between different maps, or even I can place the other things on the map, so not related to the camera. So here is like a script which what it does. So it runs the certain video on the certain monitor, so it can be used for digital signage. We will have a look at this later on. So let's get back to the slides. Sorry for that. We got also the point of sale interface. It can be combined with the facial recognition and with the video analytics, like the different customers counting. But the POS interface is quite useful stuff, of course, and we can create some complex scenarios. So those are the real examples of what we've got. Say we we can track if the cashier or the operator provides some certain discounts for ordinary customers, say in Heathrow Airport. So we've got 4 or 5 terminals under Evo operation for the shopping zones within the airport. And over there, we've got a scenario that the tracking, so if the cashiers provide the police discounts for ordinary customers. So each time the police discount being applied, we create a certain bookmark and notify the operators. So later on, they can just randomly review if this discount being applied for a proper police officer or just for some ordinary customers. So we also got this scenario when the operator in question, some certain operators can take cash but provide no transaction, but this is pretty obvious fraud. And they can be some other use cases in here, so they're quite extensive. So I won't stop on those. It was its own training because again, so the combination of point of sale, video analytics, and especially facial recognition is quite interesting topic by itself. And just to provide you with a brief overview, what we can do with the facial recognition for retail. So definitely we can do the tracking for the face matching, like some blacklisted persons, or we can do the customer profiling, so age, gender, sentiment, masks, and so we can also track the personal, so to be excluded from these statistics. Because so the shop owners, they interested in the real customers and not the personnel to influence this. And this might have the integration with the POS. So we can combine the facial recognition with the POS cash flow reports. Say what type of customers spend more, or what type of customers do not spend anything. So what are the target audience? And definitely we can do the fraud detection and reporting with this. Say someone has been given their personnel discount. So some shops provide some discounts for the personnel, and someone has been given personnel discount. And if the facial recognition does not detect that this person is from a personnel, then we can notify the operator. So this is a potential fraud. And definitely we can create the heat maps and footfalls. So those are valuable marketing tools. So where the traffic has been the most, what are the visitors are looking for. And the other thing which I mentioned is digital signage. So digital signage was this. By utilizing the Evo Global Video Wall, so you can actually do the digital signage at no extra cost at all. There's no middleware or any extra licensing required. And this creates easy digital signage. So you can display whatever your custom content is. So be it a video or a web page or just an advertisement whatsoever. So on any screen attached to the system. And we know some customers like the major hotels, for instance, like Intercontinental, they use Evo Global for digital signage, so display their special offers like gym working hours, menus for the restaurants, the weather forecast by Evo, and it doesn't cost them anything. So apart from those nice features, Evo has quite extensive data security layers. And actually, data security and cybersecurity has been a hot topic, especially with some enterprises or with the government applications. And we've got really nice value in here. So first of all, we probably one of the few systems who really can do the risk-based approach, who can handle the insider threat. Quite interesting statistics that over 80% of the data breaches or hacks or what you name them, there's been a consequence of the insider threat, intentionally or most likely unintentionally, but this been done by someone inside the system, someone who has an access to the system, and not like the hackers from the internet been hacking the system. So in some instances, we can even apply so-called zero trust policy. This has been done with unfortunately, I cannot name the exact country, the border service, where they have they can expect that they can be espionage or some infiltration even within the border security services. So they apply zero trust policy. That means that all the operators have been treated as a potential insiders, and the system does not allow the operator to do any harm, even if he wants to do this. Then, yes, definitely we've got the end-to-end encryption, not only for data in transit, which is called often end-to-end, but also for data at rest. So stored data is also encrypted, even by the secondary layer of custom encryption. And this is probably one of the few systems out there, we also encrypt the API and SDK calls. There's a logical security, so everything related to the authorization, authentication, and the separation between the physical layer, so the actual equipment, and the logical layer, so what's been seen to the operators. So our operators, they don't see any sort of IP addresses, servers, they don't know what that is. So they care about the videos and things like that. And definitely everything been tracked, logged, and you can audit everything. So we've got very extensive audit systems. So literally everything, each user session, each connection can be monitored, and the operators can be notified. Say, for instance, certain users have two connections to the system simultaneously. That means probably someone else uses this operator's credentials. And as I said, we have to be ensured that the systems and applications run smoothly, so system is robust. So this includes all the failover, replication, mirroring, and also apply the air gap policy as an extra security layer. So within our system, we do not allow the connection to the camera video streams directly from the outside. So now system can be configured to allow this connection, but this is not recommended, and this is not like the preferred setup. And we have all the tools to ensure the data integrity. So all the data, all the recordings, and especially all the personal data for the facial recognition and other systems, it's been ensured that it will be stored properly and will be safe and sound. But this is just brief overview. In more detailed talk about the data security in general, it's also the quite interesting topic, and I would probably suggest we can have our next session, maybe beginning of January, dedicated to data security, because it's quite interesting and quite extensive. So the other thing, which is, I don't love the term revolution, because revolution means to destroy something and to try to build something new. No, we will call it evolution. So the natural way of developing things. And we will have a look at the evolution of integrations. So what's the integration? So in the most simple way, the integration between the system is there. If this, then that, or even try contacts. If something happens here, then we will know on the other end that something happened. This is quite a good way, historical, whatever, but for any system of any meaningful size, it's a huge manual labor. So it's not feasible simply. The second generation of the integration thing has been called the physical security information management, so or literally manual integration. So where there are some special systems which can combine other systems into one single interface. The only tiny disadvantage of this type of approach, it just costs a fortune. Then someone said, okay, why should we integrate all the systems all together? We can create some sort of middleware or called API, so everyone can integrate into it. That's good. Unfortunately, each single vendor of any system decided that, okay, we will create our own API, so they become many, many, and many. So still, it brought us towards the point, yeah, even if this system has an open API, it has to be integrated anyway. And this has to be done manually. Then the next bright idea was like, okay, so why should not we have just a common API, so which will cover all the devices, and it can in form like ONVIF or OPC for industrial equipment. So this is uniform data. This everything is good. Unfortunately, probably you know better than I that ONVIF is, yeah, it's kind of solution, but it's very limited, and the adoption of the new profiles like T or profile M, which can include some nice features like video analytics and so on, it's been very, very slow. So with this approach, we can see the major issues in here. First of all, the development. Yeah, so in order to integration to be existent, it has to be developed. Then the control. Probably you oftentimes see, yeah, so formally these two systems have been integrated, say this access control have been integrated with the VMS, but the control over the operation has been pretty limited. Yeah, so not all the features are available. And the most important thing is the interface. Yeah, but the interface been kind of poor. Yeah, so yeah, we can get a notification in a panel that someone has opened the door, but that's pretty much it. So the question is, what is missing here? And what's missing is the fully featured interface, which will look nice and will provide the full control over the integration. And if I say that this interface is already existing, so it provides the total control, and it has the feature-rich GUI, so the user interface. What's this? It's the native app interface, obviously. So each system vendor, it has its native application, which provides full control, of course. But what can be done? What can we do with the native app? Let's imagine a perfect world where you can unify all the operations with your VMS, be it dashboards, I don't know, flight programming, even external VMSs, access controls, business intelligence, radars, lidars, whatever, dispatching system, traffic management, whatsoever, with all the controls and 100% interactive. So this can be inbuilt into your VMS. So is this a kind of miracle revolution? No, it's the evolution. This is what we provide, an evolutionary new way how to directly interact with any external system and any external application, and it's called Evo Crosslink. And this approach exists for many years within the IT world, but for whatever reason is been not well known into the video management and security operations. What is the reason? I don't exactly know. So probably just no one have been even thinking about this. So what it does, Evo Crosslink, it provides you with the interface and control of any external application. Any means any. Doesn't mean it's Linux, Windows, Mac OS or web-based. So one of the recent and most common examples where it is used is SCADA integration, and the 100% integration and interoperation between those systems can be achieved with the Evo Crosslink and OPC. Thanks to our developers, we've got the OPC protocol integrated with our system. So literally, if you take SCADA, any SCADA system, doesn't really matter which one, with a crosslink, we can add interface and control. And with OPC, we can stream all the data and all the automation features of this SCADA system. So literally, we can achieve 100% integration. So, okay, so how it looks like. I've got a couple of examples in here. So first of all, this is like a demo SCADA system. Of course, it's fictional, but for the first instance, it looks like, okay, so this is kind of web page. And you're right, this is web application, but it's not like a simple web page displaying in here. So first of all, we've got a full control. So I can change the processes, and I can have all the messages, all the inbuilt logic that SCADA system provides to be transferred into Evo. So you see this. This can be whatever. So it can be the transportation system. So I can control it. I can stop and run certain things. I can have all the data displayed in real time. And I got all the control over the different processes. So here it is. Full interface. And as you can see, it's just simply built inside Evo. So you've got full control. But okay, this is not that impressive. What if I can show you the other one? Just let me show it full screen. So here is, okay, this is a Vigilon. Just let me grab the control. So I can start playing things. There's no many FPS, so I've got a pretty bad recording in here. But anyway, so you can actually see how it looks. So I can change the behavior. I wouldn't say it's that fast. So this is not like real time. So, but again, here's the full control. So I can control literally a Vigilon system. So VMS inside the VMS. This is not a full VMS. This is just a player. But anyway, so it works the same way. So I can click on play. So you see we've got even the video from that system. So everything moves. I got full control. I can get rid of control. So, but as you see, everything is there. Moreover, all the actions done by the operator have been recorded. So I can actually scroll back and forth in order to review what's been there. So not much that's been happening over there, but all the actions have been recorded properly. Okay, so there are plenty of other nice features, benefits, add-ons, whatsoever, like this one. So yeah, this is somewhere in Siberia. You see it's pretty cold, but this is like the protective equipment detection test. Just a short video clip. So what it does, it detects the hard hats and the high visibility vests. Okay, someone should appear here. Okay, this guy doesn't wear some stuff. So this guy has the high visibility vest, but not hard helmet. Okay, here you go. let's get back to the Crosslink and SCADA integration. The use case is the Mercedes AMG, the turbocharged vehicles and so on. So we've got their installation on their manufacturing and test facility. And yeah, so it's kind of partly used for general security applications, but the major part is being for the technology video surveillance and the process control. So thanks for the tight integration with the OPC protocol. So we integrate there, first of all, the robots, sensors, test room controllers, and some of the other operational equipment. Say we've got there like test rooms where they stress test the engines, and they can be different climate conditions emulated over there, and the engines can even explode during the test. So we can ensure that no one is actually there. So and we can provide the full control. So this is an example, and this project has been driven by as I said, the technology. The technological video surveillance, not the security. And the perceived value. So let's get back to this one. I know that the video market is absolutely full of products that are trying to blow different features. They don't really, those don't really add value. Say, yeah, we've got this button green, but you can move, you can have it red. So yeah, so this is a pretty cool feature. Okay, what's the value of this? Who cares? And there's definitely the other products, they do exactly the same, and even from the same manufacturer. So some vendors, even they have the different product lines that do literally the same thing. And we believe this is just the overcomplication of what can be the very, very basic system. So like we've got just, okay, single server, fine. Multi-server, fine. Evo Global, that's pretty, nothing else. So, and I cannot blame anyone. So this is not, say, company A, be it whoever else, I don't know, Milestone, Avigilon, Genetec, Luxriot, that does it. No, it's just a symptom of the issues that the installers and the system users they got from utilizing those overcomplicated systems. So they got there so many different features in build. Unfortunately, 80% of those features are absolutely useless. So that's probably the way how you can approach and evaluate the value that your system can provide. So say what Luxriot can provide towards this particular customer. Why does it matter? What's the value of this? So by just answering those questions to yourself, you can do a better approach to any of your customers. So I believe this been just a brief overview, introduction. So we've gathered plenty of other topics to discuss, some of them technical, some of them really sales oriented. So, and I'm open for your questions. So let me just jump back towards the interface. Sorry for that.
Yeah, so I asked to our participants to ask questions, but there's no questions till this moment. So I don't know. Maybe there's no questions, or there's any other issues regards to why they are not asking.
No.
We
So
will wait for a few minutes, and if there will be no questions, then it was very good presentation. All was clear to anybody.
So So by the way, does anyone have any sort of questions so far? Okay, questions. Do you support P2P connection to Evo S and or Evo Global? Yeah, this is a good point. We will be releasing the first cloud enable system. So P2P means actually it has to go to some instance in the cloud. So the P2P is just a part of the more broader stuff. So P2P is actually be part of the solutions in version 121, say mid end of January. So as of now, we do support this, but only with the private clouds. So that makes the things a bit more tricky. So I know for the broader audience, it will be more interesting to have this with the public clouds. So we've tested this with the Amazon Web Services and works perfectly. So we're just waiting this for the official release. Yeah, there will more documentation about the integration in details. Yep, of course. We can send the more details on this. Of course, it's not that complicated. Related with the product code. Okay, simple case related with the product catalog. Okay, let me try to name the simple case. Probably not the simple case, but say, okay, the one which we've got with one of the airports in North America. So the duty-free zone, so the shopping zone coverage actually. So they got a distributed network of different shops, and each shop has its own owner, of course, and the airport provides those airports with their video surveillance services. So they lease them the cameras and they lease them their connection. So they got the Evo Global, so they don't have to care about the number of servers whatsoever, what kind of hardware. So each shop installs its own cameras with the recommendation of the airport, of course. And the airport provides them with different types of services like connecting the point of sale. And this is kind of mandatory because the airport earns their revenue as a percentage of the revenue of each single shop. So they have to control all the point of sale operations. This is one step, but they also provide the shops with the different services like the cashier fraud detection, facial recognition and statistics, the heat maps, visitor counting, and the other things. So this is like a brief example. In terms of the product, this is Evo Global. This is Vera FR with one centralized database. So the airport has its own database, and the shops have their own small capacity to add some VIP customers to that database, for instance. And they got the post integration, but it doesn't cost anything, so it's the core of the product. And they got the EVA video analytics for custom accounting and the proper detection of human beings. But that's pretty it. So apart from the EVA Global license, they will need just Vera FR license and a certain number of EVA video analytic channels. So probably that's the answer for your question. Or should we provide some more interesting stuff? Okay, per channel or per camera, pen rank cameras with free-for lens. It depends on the vendor. For we've been kind of strict with this. For those vendors which we rate as the technology partners, those are Axis, Mabotics, Vivotech, Leica, and someone else. We provide these per camera as a physical device. So it doesn't really matter how many sensors are inside that camera. But for some other brands, like Avigilon or unfortunately Hikvision and Dahua, no, this is per physical sensor. So each separate physical sensor means one license. Okay, so the other questions, let me just check. Crosslink, yeah, so the crosslink is separate. So Yanis stated the MSRP is 500 euros. 500 euros is the advanced license, which includes everything, but there's a cheaper option if you don't need certain features over there. So I can explain this in a bit more details. Event management, so both have, so it's just a feature of Evo, doesn't really matter as ESO global, and it doesn't cost anything, so just an inbuilt feature. Supported applications that can be OpenNet integrated via, okay, there's no list of applications that can be integrated via the crosslink, because it's literally any application. So I know some of the guys been already posting the on LinkedIn how they play games via the crosslink. So the list probably will include some of the applications which we find that they are not capable to be integrated. So that will be shorter list, because literally everything else can be integrated. P2P connections, so no, it doesn't really matter as a global, so it's the same engine. So P2P is just a protocol, it will be supported by both. Okay. Anything else? Mm-hmm.
Yes, on the top of the questions section, and there's the chat also.
Yeah, so the document which explains more about each functionality of the system. Yeah, so we've got a user guide which explains everything in detail. Unfortunately, not from the commercial standpoint. As from the commercial standpoint, yeah, definitely. What I've been showing today, it was just a brief overview. We can definitely break all the features or group them into, say, everything related to data security and system resilience. We can have an overview from the commercial standpoint, or everything related to integrations and events and actions. Say this can be covered as a separate topic.
Alex, there's a question about this crosslink, about the events.
Crosslink events. Well,
yeah, because
okay,
user interface, but what about events?
The events is not a part. So if crosslink provides the interface and control, the events with the access control systems, they've been done via the HTTPS or HTTP messaging. So for say for some of the integrated systems, you don't have to do anything. This has been already done. And again, it doesn't cost anything. For some particular systems, like some small local vendors, it's actually can be done even by the installer. It's just simple mapping of the different HTTP events. So most of the modern access control systems, they do support this, and we also do support, so we can exchange the certain events. It depends on the level of the integration. So data is not a part of the crosslink. Crosslink provides the interface and control. if you need some basic data to be streamed between the integrated system. So this is covered by the other protocols. As for SCADA, as I said, this is the OPC, which is in build, or it's there. And for the access control, it's most likely the HTTP messaging, or quite often it's done via the POS interface. So POS, it doesn't mean it's dedicated only for the POS points of sales. It also works with any structured data like JSONs. Quite recently, we've been adding plenty of camera-based analytics by just simply passing the JSONs. So this is kind of integration. Okay, so let me jump back to the chat. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. If you got any other questions, yeah, of course. Portals. Yeah.
Yes, there's in the question section about the portals on live view.
Fast navigation. Yeah, of course. It's quite easy. Let me just. Okay. Just give me a second. I can share the screen. So literally you can go to any of the cameras. This called so-called video overlays. If you go to configure them, you can create those portals. There's a on top left, there's a small button. You can drag and drop here and just resize this one. So anyway, so I will create it in here under the tree. This is so-called channel shortcut. You can choose whatever the color it will be. You can choose this opacity, how back it will be, and you can redirect this to any other camera. So any other resource. So let's do like this. Okay, apply. Okay, let's jump to the application. So you see this pink zone under the tree. If I click in here, okay, it just brought us to that particular camera.
Yeah, Alex, I believe the meaning of the question was another one. Is it possible to put not a triangle or square or something like that, but a picture or any other icon, or maybe?
Oh
I
yeah,
just-
as if you want to any other icons, yes, it can be done, of course.
Okay,
It's
then
but it won't be called the shortcut. So we've got so-called user buttons, and for the user button you can assign any sort of the thing, like in here, this tiny button. So on the map, it can be also added as on the screen. So this button doesn't go to the camera, but it starts to display this video. But it's literally the same.
yeah, it was in presentation because we cannot see your
Yeah.
screen at this moment. But okay,
Oh, so, sorry.
we
Yeah.
already saw it. Thank you, Alex.
Mhm.
Is there an option to change user buttons? Yes, Alex already told me.
Yes. Size position. Yeah. So I think let me see if it's been already there. Uh, Size position. So the overlays. Okay, with the user buttons. Yeah, so I have to check because I'm not sure it's been in agenda to certain release. I'm not sure if there's been this one or the minor release. We've been talking that the user buttons can be attached to the to those overlays like the portals between the cameras. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if this been released or not. But there's definitely been an agenda, and this was on the R&D discussion recently. But I'm not sure it's been already released or it's waiting for the minor release, which we should have somewhat mid-December, so literally in a week or two. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay, this is it about the questions. Thanks all for participation, and about the documentation and the pricing and other questions. Please write us an email to any colleague.
Mhm.
We will provide with access to
Ye-
documentation and information.
Yeah, as for the technical training, Yanis, so any update on the technical training? So
Uh, it will, maybe it could be next week, but responsible for training sessions is not present in our office now. But maybe it will be next week or another week.
so our technical trainer will be back from vacation tomorrow. So that
Okay. Okay, it's a bit sooner. Okay, but I will provide the information for next trainings, technical training session, and that there will be, of course, access to that.
okay, good, good. So thank you everyone for taking part. I believe that was useful, and see you next time. Keep track on the announcers.
Yeah.
Goodbye, goodbye,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you, Alex. Thank you, guys. Until the next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.